probably what I'm about to say is like biased or wrong. Maybe it's just like an oversimplification of things. Maybe it's delusional and I just want to live in a world where like people do bad things for good reasons because it would be easier. There's a song. I didn't actually even know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Because I'm not gonna know how to say her name. It's Sarah and then the last name B, but I don't know how to say it. Okay, it's the Once Upon Another Time lyrics song. I'm trying to Google the lyrics because I was playing it and crying. That song actually always makes me cry. It makes me think a lot about being a kid and just childhood. I don't know if it's better to know that we're fucked up, because I feel like probably as a kid I was fucked up in the head because everything that's still an issue was becoming an issue at that point. I was living the experiences that are still stuck with me. And I was being traumatized actively by the trauma that still sticks with me. But I feel like if I look back, because I was naive and I didn't understand or know what was happening, I don't think I was happy necessarily, but I don't know if that was better than this, than being self-aware of it. But all these lines in it, like when it says no enemies to call my own, right? We were all just kids. And I was thinking about it in terms of like, I didn't have any history yet. And I'm thinking like 7 years old, 8 years old, like out playing in the driveway, riding my bike, drawing with chalk. And you had friends and you had people that weren't your friends and you fought like on a kid level. I didn't have any history with people yet. I didn't have any ruined relationships yet. And then in particular, what I was thinking was I didn't have any exes yet. I hadn't loved anybody yet. And maybe that sounds weird because I'm talking about my childhood. So it's like, yeah, no shit, you hadn't. But I mean, even if I was like talking about it like 16 or whatever, I hadn't tried to love anybody yet. And in a way, it seems so much more hopeful than now because it's like, she hadn't fucked up yet. You know? And maybe I was always going to mess up my relationships. I don't know. That stings. But I hadn't done it yet. It feels like there was so much more chance and opportunity ahead of me. And people that I did wind up in relationships with whom I wanted to stay with, or who I loved and wanted them to continue loving me. Like maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking about me as a kid and I'm like, fuck, she could have grown up and done better and tried better. And I feel like I've let myself down and betrayed myself because if I had been able to hold it together better, if I had been a better person, a better girlfriend, if I hadn't been just so fucked in the head and didn't have all the shit that I have, I don't feel this way about other people, or about, like, if someone were to come to me and say these things to me about themselves, I would never agree with them and be like, yeah, you were just too fucked up to love anybody. I feel that about myself. I have, like, no forgiveness for myself. Man, in a way, I really just resent these bad parts of myself so much, and the bad things that I do and say to people. And I don't understand myself at the end of the day, and I don't feel gentle or forgiving or understanding towards myself, because I cost myself stuff, and because I treat people poorly, and because no one else can control that for me. I'm the only one. And I just wish I could extract, like, the shittiest parts of who I am, and the way I behave, and the way I fucking feel inside. And I wish I could just draw them out of myself and just pull them out. And that I could be only the things that I want. Only the things that I need. That I feel like ever since I was that kid playing in that driveway, that what she needed, what she wanted to grow up into, what she wished she had as a child, what she wanted to have given herself and built with somebody and be given by somebody, was just this total peace and calm and a quiet life and gentleness and softness and just loving. And instead I'm so angry and I'm mean and I hurt, and I just wish I didn't, which I guess is obvious. Just all these people now, not all these people, but, you know, there's people that I have ruined relationships with. And the biggest ones for me that are the hardest to cope with and live with are boyfriends who are exes. And it sucks. This is the point I was thinking about when I heard the song. Everything else, I don't know. Rambling, I guess. But it sucks that I think of myself little, tiny, curly, and she just wanted to grow up into love so fucking bad. And how much I still just want love. And then I think of the people that I'm no longer with. And I feel like I see the same thing in them. That they were just this little boy who wanted to grow up into love, and then grew up and was a man who just wanted love. And it's so sad to me. It's so sad and heavy to me. And maybe this is the part that I think is maybe an oversimplification. But it just seems like sometimes me and my friends and me and my exes are just these unloved kids who are just trying to love each other. And we all just, like, fucked up in the process. I think that's so sad. If that's true, or if that's ever true for, like, part of our life, or some people are true while other things can also be true, I don't know. Because maybe I'm just trying to explain away bad things people do with, like, good reasons so that it hurts less, and be like, oh, we just didn't know how to love each other, that's why we're not together anymore. But is there not truth to some of that? People delegitimize things like mental health struggles and whatever. I did air quotes because I struggles being, like, makes an implication. I don't know. creates an implication, I guess, goes with one. I don't know. But just when people talk about it as a struggle, it sounds like you're doing something wrong or not good enough. And whatever, that's such an aside. God. It just sucks. Everything feels so heavy. And it just breaks my heart. Like, for myself, for child me, for, like, exes, for friends. Like, just seeing how, like, a lot of us grew up with love just being the issue, being not enough, being wrong, being confusing, being mixed with, like, other traumatizing things. And here we are, like, doing our best to love each other, but none of us know how. And so here we are going to therapy, and I have a psychiatry appointment tonight, and trying to figure out how to just fucking comb these bad parts out of who I am. But it's sad. And it's sad that we could have been so confused or unloved or messed up by things people did. Family and parents, and sometimes not family, whatever. It's so sad that it can have been so formative and so disruptive and traumatizing and unloving to experience those things, that it still gets in the way of my adult relationships. And then we could still be told, right, that, like, those things didn't happen. My parents think they didn't traumatize me. Look at me fucking up my relationships. How many years later? I'm 28. And I still can't get it right. And it just makes me so sad. Because would we have all got it right? If not for, like, our trauma and what we all went through and blah, blah, blah. Like, if we knew how to love, would I have already, like, stayed with somebody and gotten exactly what it is that I am, like, so dying for? But it's specifically because I wasn't loved like that, and I've never been loved like that I can't. I feel like I can't ever have that. I feel like I can't ever be that. And that is so sad. I'm so sad. I reached out to a hotline this week because I'm really struggling to deal with a breakup that I went through. And they asked me, like, was it recent? And for the first time, I had to look back at the calendar and be like, no, I guess it's been, like, 2 months like this. Maybe not 2 months. Maybe, like, 5-6 weeks. Maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. But time has gone by. And I just feel so sad and angry and, like, helpless, because it feels like, God, I just wish I could take the bad parts out of what I experienced for myself and for him, because we were just two people who I thought loved each other. And that maybe we just don't know how. And that is heartbreaking. When the problem isn't, like, the two of you, and this is only from my perspective because I don't think he agrees, but how do you change? How do you change the past? You can't. How do you change how fucked up you still are? I don't know. And now I honestly just want everything to turn off and to numb. Because I'm really not taking anything well. And it's not just that. I have so many things happening right now that I'm just not equipped to handle this. I'm overwhelmed by, like, the intensity and the never-endingness of these really big, really negative emotions at the same time that I am so disassociated, and it's really disturbing, and I having a really, really bad time. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever even loved anybody. How do you know? I don't know. Every time I think I do. I don't know.